Now you see how a real criminal does it, eh? That idea just strikes
What it do, Durag Nation? Suicide Squad could justly just dropped their highly anticipated patch, which is not typically something a game studio wants to hear unless that patch is adding fun new content. But unfortunately, Suicide Squad has had a number of issues affecting the players, such as multiplayer problems and people not even being able to log into the game. Unfortunately, none of that was fixed in this patch, but according to the official Discord, those will be addressed in a different update that is still being worked on. The patch that just dropped today was to mainly fix some exploits that were making players too powerful, such as the 2 infinite XP glitches and the former best build in the game, Burn. Because of how spongy enemies were made at higher mastery levels, it was impossible to play anything other than Burn strategies since enemy health was in the billions and the way Burn applied damage punished enemies for having too much health. Well, after their latest update, Burn is officially dead. As you can see here, the difference between my Burn build from last night to today is basically unplayable in comparison, even though enemy health is now much lower. But fortunately, I was able to quickly find the new best build after the patch, and I barely had to change anything. I ran pretty much this exact Captain Boomerang build before the patch, and it couldn't even get past mastery level 58. But now it's absolutely cruising through mastery 80, and it's not even that hard to put together. This build utilizes the tier 3 Bane set, which is all about applying the Venom Craze Affliction on enemies. You can start getting it at mastery level 20, but the main reason we're using it is because of the 3-piece bonus. All enemies hit with a traversal attack become crazed, and each enemy killed while Bane's Fury is active generates 10% traversal attack resource. This build is all about infinitely looping Boomer's traversal attack. With the augments I modified, I usually either have my traversal attack back immediately after using it, or I can get it back simply with 1 or 2 shotgun blasts. The new patch also nerfed the best defensive mods in the game, Molten Wave and Turtle, while buffing enemy damage to compensate for enemy health being lowered. So damage reduction is currently completely useless. Fortunately, they can't hit you while you're doing a traversal attack, so just don't get hit. Do your best to get the augments like I have them. You can do this by overhauling gear at Penguins to make sure you have 3 potential augments, and you can choose the augments you want at Toyman by eluding them and using the tote system. If you don't have any of those options, it's because you haven't done your support squad missions for both characters. The only gear that I have you can target specifically when farming is the Bane gear. The rest comes down to luck. So keep playing the incursion missions for the best odds of getting them. Probably the most important is the stack deck shotgun, which can appear by different names but does the same thing. Damage is reduced by 50%, but each successive hit with this gun on the same enemy causes them to take 15% more damage from all sources for 10 seconds, allowing you to potentially get a 750% damage increase. This gun is what allows me to guarantee I get my traversal back so fast. The most important skills are critical hit chance and the third perk, which gives you back 3% traversal resource for every critical hit. You can also guarantee crits by doing melee attacks, so you're pretty much always going to have your traversal skill available. The debuff is good for the brutes who still have a lot of health. You should get a version of this gun for every character and equip it to your AI teammates. This will give you much more damage when playing solo. The second firearm spot doesn't matter, I never actually use it. I just got it for the tier 3 bonus. The melee slot, we have the Two-Faced Persuader, which makes it so that every melee hit on a crazed enemy drops either a live grenade or grenade ammo, which is another important part of the build. Enemies will be crazed all the time because of the Bane set applying craze whenever you use your traversal attack. I went with ammo gains, suicide strike resource, and affliction resource from melee hits, so I can keep spreading craze and won't have to worry about reloading as much. Because I'm running the Bane set, this also triggers the villain synergy bonus with Two-Face. So now when I shield harvest enemies, I have a guaranteed drop of grenade ammo and increased grenade damage by 100% for 20 seconds. The grenades are the key to surviving with the nerfs to the defense mods. The Starburst drops shield pickups, damage buffs, and ammo for every enemy it hits. In addition, I've modded it to get back traversal attack resource per hit as well. With the way this build is made, you'll have grenades all the time, so the battlefield will just be filled with ammo, damage buffs, and shield pickups to collect. To make room for that grenade, I'm using the tier 3 Bane shield mod. It also has a cool perk of giving you 100% more damage while taking 50% less damage if you craze more than 4 enemies while standing within 20 meters. You won't notice the damage reduction at all, but you do crazy damage with this build. For the augments, I went with more critical chance, shield harvest chance for the villain synergy, and because the third perk gives 50% more damage when my shield is at 100%. The traversal mod, I stuck with the turtle still force, which is still the best in slot. It gives you 500% more damage as long as you don't stand still. I've modded on a 50% damage buff to enemies within 5 meters, which is where I'm at all the time because of the shotgun and traversal attack, along with traversal attack damage and ammo gains. The neck bomb is another tier 3 venom piece, and I modded another 50% damage while my shield is at 100%, along with electrified resistance, which is important in case you get hit by a sniper or electric trap, which would prevent you from using your traversal abilities, and more Suicide Squad ultimate resource from enemy kills, since the squad ultimate allows me to stop time, and I'm using the talent that gives my traversal attack 200% more damage while the ultimate is active. For the charm, I'm sticking with the best in slot, Jinx's Unlucky Coin. Gives you a flat 250% increased damage to afflicted enemies, and when it rotates to the Venom Frenzy, that's another 750% damage. For the augments, I went with another 50% damage while shield is at 100%, giving you a total of 150% more damage just by having shield. More squad ultimate resource from enemy kills gives you 10% total, so you should basically be able to spam this squad ultimate, and more ammo gained from crits. You can just copy the talent tree as is. The one other notable perk is King Hits, which puts every enemy you hit with a melee attack in slow motion for 5 seconds, but adds a 2-second cooldown, which is nothing in this build. For the squad skills, I put most of my points into extra XP, giving me 30% more total, and since I play on Invasion level 5 difficulty, I get another 70% more XP. That's a 100% increase in XP gains. I also threw my points into critical chance, since you also need to crit enemies to apply afflictions, so I won as much as possible. I also got extra damage to brutes, grunts, and the Batman and Flash infused enemies that you run into a lot while playing the incursions. That's the build. It's extremely fun, much more fun than the burn, and it's probably the safest build you can run right now since you're invincible while using the traversal attack. I think a similar build using Deadshot's traversal attack would also be OP. Hopefully the next update drops soon and is able to fix all the bugs while also balancing out the gameplay by removing or adjusting the boom modifier and nerfing the explosion radius of the destroyer brutes.